Good afternoon, Abbotsford residents. I'm Mr. Pelican. I'm running for the mayor of Abbotsford to bring the RCMP into Abbotsford on the organized crime that took place in Abbotsford. Henry Brown went in the city and he was buying up the land with his partners, his son in front of him, the proving officer, stealing the inside information and blocking city Abbotsford residents from having a say and outvoting them with council. It was Darren Brown showed how they were doing it. Today, I'm in front of the Capriccia newspaper owned and run by Andy Sidhu, Dave Sidhu's dad. This is City Councilor Dave Sidhu. This garbage man is asking for another term to sit on your city council. He's got a video out right now, and I want to make sure all my councilor members that are running have a fair playing ground. And what Corky Neufeld did is absolutely disgusting. The secret party thrown for Amrik Moran by Mike de Jong, Mark Workentine, Simon Gibson, the Liberal, and Corky Neufeld, Jerry Palmer, and all the elites were there trying to load Amrik Moran over Dave Sidhu. So let me tell you why you do that. They're done with Dave Sidhu. He caused them enough problem from the election, from what his dad did in the South Asian newspaper, and now they dumped him and he's by himself after they used him for collaborating, rigging decisions, and now the insider trading on his piece of property. Ross owed him, he had to pay him to shut his mouth, so they lifted his dad's piece of property on Tracy Road with Vitalis and did insider trading. This is why you need the RCMP. This was directly hand-picked when there's 5,000 farmers or more, and he did this to the South Asian. He believes that the South Asians are forgiven and they would do and come and vote him in. We need people like Mo Gill to stand up. Gurpreet Rai, I asked him to run for council. Gosh, I'd even like to see Mo rerun again. Gurpreet Rai, I asked Suki Dami to run. We got to call this man out for what he did. And you could see now that the establishment doesn't promote him. But Dave Sidhu has got a video out with his family, using his family, because that's what he's done. The whole year, he's never answered his phone or went out and helped Abbotsford residents. So let me give his family and his little daughter that he used. The Mackenzie Bog, the South Asians got deadly sick there, and Dave Sidhu never went out there and questioned Magna or bylaw. Many farms had all these illegal cars parked down the road where they were making millions of dollars, endangering people's lives. And Dave Sidhu never went out there or told the Abbotsford police, as a city council, you need to go and impound the vehicles. Dave Sidhu never questioned where the 71 million went missing out of Jake's contracting, hauling sand in and gravel in at a Barrowtown. Dave Sidhu never questioned the rocks on Gladys Avenue. Dave Sidhu was never about this town. But his video is trying to promote him that he's this caring guy and he gives back to this community. He's never done. The South Asians up behind Lou's Bar and Grill that had their homes damaged, Dave Sidhu refused to put them in the newspaper or help them because it would bring Henry Brown into trouble. And this is how much they owed him. Now they peed on Dave Sidhu. They're throwing a private party with Amrik Moran. They're all busted up. Dave Sidhu believes now he's running his own thing. Hi to Dave Sidhu. And I really want to run again, and I really want in. He has to go under investigations. He blocked an election and lost an opportunity, and also blocked so Manji Soyi couldn't beat Ross Siemens, and they were loading. This is what they were doing. And now, like gang members, they figured they're going to flee because the heat's on them and they're no longer talking. You could see if you go through Facebook, it's obvious. And just look, and I showed you, this is why I showed you Amrik Moran's elite party. They exclusively blocked this garbage out of there. They don't need his rag newspaper and they didn't need his dad. I'm asking to become your mayor of Abbotsford and anybody else that runs, and we got to go in after the insider trading. As your mayor, Dave Sidhu's piece of property on Tracy Road that he lifted for his dad and brought Vitalis was insider trading. It has to go before the courts. And then his piece of property on Huntington and McAllen, he rushed for his dad and used his friends in the city. Remember the Abbotsford First, they were all one, and lifted that. Has to come back to Abbotsford taxpayers, and we have to make sure that goes before the courts, because this is where the cheating was and the threats. So Dave Sidhu is not about this town. He's used his family, and that's how low he's gone, because he's got no morals and ethics, and he's used his little kids and his wife for that. He's never been there for the community. He's never came out when the community called him, and I'm going to podcast the South Asians from behind Lou's Bar and Grill that had their homes damaged, and they're going to directly tell you on my podcast that this garbage never came out. This garbage knew what he was doing. This garbage figured that he would never be questioned, and they had a perfect plan. Till Henry Brown got in his car and tried to end my life, that broke the worlds wide open, splitting their scams and their wonderful ride they were on. I'm asking all the South Asians to spread the video and make sure it's out there. I'm asking you as South Asians who I fought for Joe on Short Road, showing you what they did to lift Dave Sidhu's property on insider trading. And I showed you all the stuff they were doing to the farmers, and you've never received any money and help, and this man's never been there. Kick his ass. Kick his ass, and we need good counsel. That's why I'm asking Suki Dami to run, Gurpreet Rai to run. I even asked, hey Mo, come out of retirement. You got so much to offer to this city. You got honesty, transparency, and everything. I got to shut that guy down and shut his little rag newspaper. I got a message for Andy Sidhu. Insider trading, Andy, you go to jail. It's a myth that Henry owned the Abbotsford Private Police and he ain't going to investigate, and we got him controlled. They believe that they own this town. Unless we investigate, they ain't going to go nowhere. These were leading investigating officers that were under Henry's thumb. They're his personal friends. You can see they're trying to distance themselves, and everybody's scattering. We have a law here in Canada, and that law is for everybody. And I'm going to make something clear to Colin Watson. You ain't going to stop it. You're going to get your ass spanked, and you're going to get spanked really bad. And you're going to get it really, really bad, because this was an attempted murder, and then your lead investigating officers figured they're always going to be protected by the law because they're somebody. They're complete garbage. Dave Sidhu's property is insider trading, and every investigating officer and every police force knows that there's some way that Colin Watson is being told by David Eby to keep investigations off of Dave Sidhu and control it, because David Eby was lifting that land with Lana Pop-Up to give it, and he knew that, council. I'm live, Abbotsford, British Columbia, here at the Capritra newspaper, Andy Sidhu, against your son. And I would tell you this, retract the video, don't use your family, and show Abbotsford you were never there. You never answered their phone, you never cared. Dave, you don't deserve it. You need to be called out, Dave. And let me explain this, Dave. Even your own friends now shit on you. Ross Siemens didn't invite you to the party. They handpicked Amrik Moran over top of you in the in-house fighting's beginning. I'm live, Abbotsford, British Columbia, Abbotsford, BC.